It rose up in streets, homes, and schools. Floodwaters pushing cars, pets, and people out in the middle of it. It took more than 2 weeks for the water to recede in some neighborhoods. Now we're getting our first indication of the health dangers left behind. Channel 2's Amy Davis is testing water samples in 3 neighborhoods.
It was Houston versus Harvey. Water covered much of our city for days. And while families waited, floated, and boated out of harm's way,
I've never seen this much water.
Rescues have been ongoing.
In between reports, Channel 2 Investigates collected water samples in some of the hardest hit areas. We didn't know at the same time researchers from Baylor College of Medicine, Rice University, the Houston Health Department, and the New York Times were doing the same.
We really wanted to get in there when the houses were still flooded so that we could actually get samples of that flood water.
Combined, more than a dozen water samples from downtown Houston along Buffalo Bayou, inside and outside the Clayton Homes Public Housing Project, in West Houston near the Energy Corridor and Memorial areas, and in East Houston near the San Jacinto River.
There are many contaminants in the floodwater, both biological and chemical.
E. coli, lead, and arsenic. The findings didn't surprise Houston's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. David Pearce.
There's dog stool, raccoon stool, and once the first toilet gets breached, there's now human stool in there too.
The New York Times testing found E. coli contamination at a level more than 4 times considered safe in the Energy Corridor. And in standing water inside one family's living room at Clayton Homes, levels 135 times considered safe.
Of the areas we tested, lab results revealed the highest levels of E. coli contamination here in Nottingham 8. We took the sample right from this flooded driveway and found levels at 4 times the acceptable standards for swimming.
We saw significantly higher concentrations inside the homes than outside the homes.
Rice University's Dr. Lauren Stadler helped collect the samples for the Times test and said the bacteria is thriving inside moist, humid, flooded homes.
These warm conditions, E. coli especially, really like warm conditions. They grow much faster in those conditions.
It's a warning to homeowners returning to clean up.
My recommendation is anything that you can throw out, the carpets, the furniture, the toys, whatever it is, if it got dirty, you're best off getting rid of it.
Wear masks, gloves, long sleeves, and pants, and take those clothes off as soon as you leave the house. Wash them separately in hot water. Even after all the water is gone, there is some danger in what it left behind.
And the outside of the house is just covered with this disgusting slush, slime. It's everywhere.
The fine sand covering sidewalks, floors, and the entire River Grove Park in Kingwood may be filled with chemical toxins. Some sediment tests show high levels of lead and arsenic, but not all of the lab results are back yet.
What we have less of a handle on are the long-term effects from the chemicals.
For now, you can keep your family safe by keeping children and anyone with a weakened immune system away from the sediment and sand. And be careful working in flooded homes. A small nick, cut, or scrape can still become easily infected from contaminants. I'm consumer expert Amy Davis, KPRC, Channel 2 News.